Morning, everybody. Great that you can be here this morning for this session. My name is Dan Gregory. I work for the Birmingham City Council Route to Net Zero team, so I'm very heavily involved in the retrofit programme across the city. Today I'm here to talk about the approach that the council's taking to scale up retrofit and create a longer term retrofit pipeline. This pipeline will see far more homes across the city receiving energy efficiency measures, which also begins to provide the certainty for our supply chain to invest and to grow. But first of all, let's remind ourselves why scaling up retrofit is so important to Birmingham and to our residents. Many of you will have seen these stats before, but unfortunately things are just not improving quickly enough. 23% of our residents still live in fuel poverty. Housing is still responsible for around 36% of emissions because 66% of those homes are leaky and inefficient. The NHS is still spending £1.4 billion per year on treating illness due to cold, damp homes. So scaling up retrofit activity is absolutely critical to changing these statistics and improving residents' lives. The only housing project that the council is currently directly involved in is the Social Housing Decarbonisation Fund programme, which started about a year ago. We've started retrofitting installations on around 600 properties and completed 230 of those. So this is a really positive start, and delivery is continuing to rise and will rise significantly over the coming months. Now, there are two other schemes that you may well have heard of, which are being delivered across the city and nationally. These are energy company obligations and the Great British Insulation Scheme. Both these schemes are funded by large energy companies and largely privately led, although the council does have a few partners working on eco as well. We understand from Ofgem that around 5,000 installations have already taken place through eco since it began just over a year ago. So that's 5,000 homes that have received measures in that time. However, due to the lack of controls of the programme and the potentially high profits for installation companies, there are actually dozens of organisations trying to sell this great scheme across the city, and we have very little control over that. This approach leads to confusion for residents who really just don't know where to turn for trusted advice. And sadly, we keep hearing of cases of really poor quality installation, which further destroys the trust. So we need to learn from these projects. And as we scale up, we need to take that learning to make sure we do things better in the future. I'd like to share with you now how we aim to do this. The council alone can't tackle the retrofit challenge. We've obviously got a critical role to play in terms of leadership, funding, delivery, but it's essential that an approach is taken that's developed which involves combined authority, other housing providers, our supply chain, of course, and the community as a whole. Also, we can't just focus on those homes owned by the City Council or even on government funded programmes, because around 70% of Birmingham's privately owned homes wouldn't qualify for grant funding but are still contributing towards carbon emissions. The presentation following this one will be by George Sims from the West Midlands Combined Authority, who's going to be talking about emerging funding for retrofit programmes. I'm not going to say anything more about that because that would just steal his thunder. But also you'll be hearing from Becky Lane later on today from Ferb Now, whose company supports homeowners through the retrofit journey. The council has been working with Becky to consider how more homeowners can be engaged. So that just leaves me to talk about how the council plans to scale up retrofits by maximising the delivery of the eco programme. As I've mentioned previously, the eco or energy company obligations and Great British Insulation Scheme, known as GBIS, are both funded by large energy companies. However, subject to Cabinet approval on 25th of June, the Council aims to take a far more strategic and managed approach to eco to maximise the delivery in a more controlled and managed way. So we'll be following an approach which has been taken up in Greater Manchester, where we'll procure around 4 installer partners under concession agreements. Each of these partners will be given responsibility for sourcing funding from energy companies, so it'll be up to them to bring the money from the likes of British Gas, E.ON, Octopus, etc. They'll also be securing applications from homeowners and tenants, although the council will have a role to play in that as well. They'll be completing surveys, carrying out installations, and ultimately installing all the measures under ECO. Each of the installer partners will be allocated an area of Birmingham to operate within, and within that area they'll be expected to build relationships with community groups and with the community to help to drive demand and build trust. We really aim through this programme to bring a lot of benefits to Birmingham, so financial benefits to Birmingham as well as bringing more retrofit. So the delivery partners will be expected to commit to using Birmingham and West Midlands supply chain as part of the delivery. We're aiming through this programme to significantly increase ECO to deliver around 3,000 homes per year over the coming years, which is a massive increase on what we're currently able to deliver. However, it's just as important through the ECO programme. They'll be developing retrofit awareness across the city, so they'll be doing lots of communications to drive awareness and understanding of retrofit. We'll be developing the skills and capacity within the council to deliver retrofit at scale, so that as future programmes come along, the ones that George will be talking about in a little while, we're ready to deliver those, and we're in a great position to scale up. And through this medium-term pipeline approach that ECO allows us to develop, we'll be helping to support skills and capacity development in our local supply chain. So the opportunities will be kept local as retrofit continues to scale up. Really importantly though, we aim to use ECO and our involvement in it to build trust in our communities by delivering really quality retrofit programs where households' needs are met and people are at the centre of the projects. So this just leads me to say that up to now, the council have delivered some really positive and successful projects like the LADS programme that finished last year, and the SHDF programme that's been delivered now. These projects are changing lives and improving homes and the comfort of living in those homes. But it's not enough. We need to be doing way more. So over the coming months, we'll really start to see the level of delivery of retrofit scaling up, which will continue to grow over the next few years. It's a really exciting time to be involved in retrofit in Birmingham, with so much opportunity on the horizon. Between this approach I've been talking about to deliver ECO and the devolution funding that George will be talking about, we're really beginning to see a medium-term retrofit pipeline emerging. This pipeline is absolutely critical to our ability to scale up delivery. This is the start of a slightly longer term thinking, which allows the private sector to invest. We believe that the pipeline will see our local businesses beginning to recognise the benefits of investing now in skills training and growing their businesses. Our colleges will be investing in developing training programs, and hopefully we'll begin to see the emergence of alternative affordable finance solutions, which are going to tip the retrofit balance for willing to pay homeowners. The council's working with a really big range of partners and stakeholders across the city and wider to ensure that we're ready to meet the needs of a scaled up retrofit programme. And tomorrow you're going to hear about some of the work around skills and training for retrofit, and on Wednesday there'll be talks from community groups who are working with the council to ensure that our residents and communities are at the heart of the projects that we do. We really hope that you'll get involved and see Birmingham lead the way in delivering retrofit. Thank you very much.